Welcome to another episode of Tutorials with Ike. My name is Isaac Osafo Jr., the Vice President for the Association of Business Administration Students UPSC. And today I'm going to be looking at the business statistics. And in my hand here is last year's questions, which is just 2024. So we're going to take a question and diet. And for business statistics too, there are some particular questions that come every year, which is why I'm treating this particular question. You get it? So it's under measures of central tendency and measures of dispersion. So to come under one question, and usually counts for 20 marks or almost 20 marks. So it carries a lot of marks, you get it. And usually you'll be asked to answer 3 out of 5 questions. So if this one is just one question and you're getting 20 marks, then it means you have to take it very serious. Do you get it? All right. And one thing about business statistics is that they'll give you a formula sheet. You get it? Every year they'll give you a formula sheet. So when you look at this paper, when you turn it at the back, there's a formula sheet here. There's a formula sheet here. I don't know if you guys can see it. So you just need to, practice the format and all that. So once you practice the format, when you go into the exam hall, you see the formula sheet. So everything will be very simple for you. All right. So like I said, today we're going to be looking at measures of central tendency and measures of dispersion. And when you say measures of central tendency and measures of dispersion, you're just talking about mode, median, mean deviation, standard deviation, variance, and all that. So you're going to look at how to answer questions on it. And also for business statistics, I've realized that in the past questions, most of the time, they give you the group data. So we have group data on group data and raw data, but then group data is the most difficult. That's why they usually ask you to get it. So once you learn the group data, it would really help you because the ungrouped one will be easier, but then they usually give questions on group data. Last year, they brought the questions from group data, last 2 years and last 3 years as well. So this year, they are definitely going to bring a question on group data. So what we're about to do right now is on group data. So please take it very serious because if a question is going to come under measures of central tendency or dispersion, it's usually going to be under group data. All right, so I'm going to read a question. So the question says, given the following distributions, then you have amount into brackets Ghana cedis, then you have 10 to 12, 12 to 14, 14 to 16, 16 to 18, and 18 to 20. Then you have male 5, 8, 7, 4, and 6. Then I estimates the standard deviation. I estimates the median. I calculates the coefficient of skewness and comments on your results. All right, so this question came for almost 20 marks. You get it? So it's important to take it very serious. Now, anytime you see something where they've given you a range, the 10 to 12, so what I just read, the table I just read, you see you have 10 to 12, 12 to 14, 14 to 16, 16 to 18. Then no is group data because they've grouped them. Do you get it? So sometimes they can give you maybe amounts, maybe 10, 11, 12, 13, but this time they've grouped it. So it's a bit difficult as compared to the normal ungrouped one, you get it? So sometimes you can also see 10 and under 12 or in between 10 and 12. Like anytime they are giving you a range, you get it, just know it's under group data. Now, anytime a question comes on its group data, the first thing you have to do, whether you are supposed to find the mode, median, or whatever, this one they ask you for the standard deviation, median, and the coefficient of skewness. They can ask you for any other thing. So they didn't ask you to find the mode, they didn't ask you to find the mean, but anytime they give you this question, please don't forget the first thing you have to do is to find for what we call the midpoint. Now, why do we find for the midpoint? We find for the midpoint because this one is a range from 10 to 12, 12 to 14, 14 to 16. But then we need to find for the midpoint so that we'll know like an average of it. You get it? They've only given you the data from 10 to 12, 12 to 14, 14 to 16. But then you have to find the midpoint or the range or the average. Do you get it? So please don't forget, anytime they give you a question on it, the first thing you have to do is to find for the midpoint. So you just draw the table again, just like I've done. Then you find for the midpoint. Now the midpoint is the same as x. I repeat, the midpoint is the same as x. And then the male you see in the question, once they give you the group data, whatever is beside this is the frequency. So you see male 5, 8, 7, 4, 6. They are telling you the number of males is the same as the frequency. So please don't forget, if you see female, sometimes they might give it to you as frequency. But then they know that not everyone will know that it's frequency. So they just want to trick you. So if you see male, boys, and whatever, once it's beside the amount or anything, just know that is the frequency. So this male you see here, 5, 8, 7, 4, and 6, is the same as frequency. So you can put into brackets F. So like I said, once they give you this, the first thing you find is what you call the midpoint. So now let's find for our midpoints. So I told you that the midpoint is also the same as what? X. Don't forget, the midpoint is the same as X. All right. Now, how do we find for the midpoints? Please pay attention. If you want to find for the midpoint, just add the values of the group data, which is from, you see, you have 10 to 12, 12 to 14, 14 to 16. So if you want to find for the midpoint of 10 to 12, just add 10 plus 12, then divide it by 2. I repeat, if you want to find for the midpoint, just add this plus this divided by 2. So you can just take your calculator and do it. So if I want to find for the midpoint for 10 to 12, I just take my calculator. So 10 plus 12, whatever I get, then over 2. Then I'm getting 11. Then I do same for 12 to 14. So I do 12 plus 14. I get 26. Then 26 divided by 2 will give us what? 13. Then for 14 to 16, I do 14 plus 16. What am I getting? 30. Then 30 divided by 2, 15. Then for this one, 16 to 18, I do 16 plus 18. What am I getting? 34. Then 34 divided by 2, 17. So for this one, 18 plus 20 is what? 38. Then 38 divided by 2 is what? 19. So I repeat, please don't forget, anytime they give you a question on group data, you see 10 to 12, and they are most likely going to give you a question on group data. So please take it very serious. Once you see 10 to 12, 12 to 14, in between this. So assuming you saw maybe in between 10 and 12, is the same thing. You add 10 plus 12, then you divide it by 2. Get it? So don't forget, you add this and this, whatever you get, you divide it by 2. So it's like you're getting an average. You get it? They've given it to you in between 10 and 12, but you just want to get an average. You get it? So now whatever you get for the midpoint is the same as X. You call it X. So please don't forget, not any other variable, but only X. You get it? So now this becomes our midpoint. Now that you found the midpoint, we can start answering the question. So the I says estimate the standard deviation. Now the standard deviation, the formula will be given to you in the formula sheet. So you don't even have to even stress yourself. When you just turn the page, right, so you can see the fourth one, they said the standard deviation is given by, then they give you the formula. So this one, you don't even need to stress yourself. Once you've solved it before, you'll be able to answer it. So they've given you the formula for the standard deviation. So this is the sign for the standard deviation. You get it? It's represented by something like this, but they've already given to you. So the formula is sigma fx squared over sigma f minus into bracket sigma fx over sigma f squared. So this is the formula for the standard deviation. So you don't need to chew it. There's no need to chew it. They will give it to you. Get it? So this is the formula. So please don't forget, this is the formula. So in case they don't tell you that this is standard deviation, this one, they told you that the standard deviation is given by, once you see this symbol, is the same as standard deviation, but they'll give it to you. So don't worry. All right, so now that we've got our formula for the standard deviation, we can now work this out. So now you have sigma fx squared over sigma f. Now I told you from the beginning that the male you see in the question is the same as the frequency, which is the f. So that is the f they are talking about. And the midpoint we just found, for when you added this plus this over 2, that is our x. You get it? So we can just simply input the values. Do you get it? So please don't forget, if you see male, boys, I mean any other thing apart from the grouped data, the 10 to 12 and all that, that is your frequency. So that becomes your f, the male. Then when you add all of them divided by 2, that becomes your x. So now the formula says you should find for sigma fx squared. Now, please pay attention. A lot of people make a mistake when it comes to this point. Now, the formula is equal to sigma fx squared. Now, this x squared is not affecting the f. The squared is only for the x. You're going to get x squared, then you multiply it by f. It's not f times x, then you are going to square both of them. So please don't forget, you do x squared separately, then you multiply it by the f. I repeat, this sigma fx squared, the square is only affecting the x. So it is x squared alone, whatever you get, then you multiply it by f. You don't multiply the x by the f and square both of them. So you don't square the f. You get it? But for this part, you realize that everything is into brackets and you are squaring it. So you find the sigma fx. That's when you multiply the f times the x, then you square everything. Do you get it? So now, since we need sigma fx, it means we need f times x. Do you get it? So f times x. So now let's draw a table for fx. We are drawing a table for fx because clearly here you realize that the formula is sigma fx, meaning f times x. So you are going to multiply f. This is our f, which is the middle. Then this is our x. So when we multiply, then you are going to add, or when you see sigma, it means the total. You get it? So sigma fx, which is f times x. So now f times x, meaning this times this. So what is 5 times 11? I'm getting 55. So you can do it on the calculator. Now we have 8 times 13. So let's do it on the calculator and see what you are getting. So 8 times 13 will give us 104. Then the next one, you have 7 times 15. So 7 times 15 are getting 105. Then you also have 4 times 17. 4 times 17 are getting 68. Then lastly, you have 6 times 19. So you are getting 114. So now we've got our fx, but the formula says sigma fx. Sigma means the summation of fx. You get it? So you're going to add all the fx values. So now you're getting 55 plus 104, right? Then plus 105, then plus 68, then plus 114. Then we are getting 446. So as sigma fx will give us, 446. You get it? So now we can just rule the line. So now we've got our sigma fx, which is what is here, the numerator, the 446. Now it is over sigma f. Where is our f? This is f, so the summation of this one. So we add all these ones too. So 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 plus 7 is 20. 20 plus 4 is 24. And 24 plus 6 is 30. So our sigma f is equal to 30. So you have to watch the formula to see what you need. Here I realized that we'll need sigma fx. That's why I added all the fx values. Then we got the 446. You get it? Sigma means total. Here I realized that you need sigma f. That's why I added all the f values. You get it? So sigma means all of them, the values. You get it? So now we found for the sigma fx. We found for sigma f. Now what else do we need? Now let's come to this side. Here the formula says sigma fx squared. And I told you that here the squared is not in brackets. You get it? So the square is only affecting the x. You get it? So they are saying only x squared. So this is our x, the midpoint. The midpoint is the same as x. So only this squared. You get it? Before you multiply it times the f. So you move on to find for x squared. So x squared. Because here we need x squared before you multiply it by f, sigma fx squared. So you find the x squared first, then you multiply it by the f. So x squared, which is this, what is all the values that are here, that's our x values. So now the first x here is 11. So 11 squared will give us 1, 1, 2, 1. Then we have 13 squared. Our next x value, 13 squared, giving us 1, 6, 9. Then we have 15 squared. 15 squared giving us 225. Then we have 17 squared, giving us 289. Then you have 19 squared, giving us 361. So you can also do it whilst I'm doing it so that you'll be on track. So now we found for the x squared, but the formula is sigma fx squared. So it means now that we found for the x squared, we also have to multiply this x squared times our f. Please pay attention. Sigma fx squared, and the square is only affecting the x. So we found for this part only the x squared, but it says fx squared. So you multiply the f times the x squared. Here's our f, here's our x squared. So we multiply this times this times this times this times this, and this times this. Yes, I hope no one is confused. So please don't forget, you find for the x squared first before you multiply it by f for this part. So now we are going to get our fx squared. So let me just draw a table for it. So we have fx squared. So now we have this are f, this are x squared. So 5 times 121. 5 times 121. We are getting 605. 605. Then our next f, so 8 times the x squared, which is 169. So 8 times 169. 8 times 169. We are getting 1352. 1352. So the next one, we have our x to be 7 and our x squared to be 225. So 7 times 225. We are getting 1575. So 1575. Then we have our next f to be 4 and our x squared to be 289. So 4 times 289. So 4 times 289. We are getting 1156. 1156. Then lastly, our last f is 6 and our last x squared is 361. So 6 times 361. 6 times 361. I'm getting 2166. So we are done with our fx squared, which is what you see here, fx squared, fx squared. But the formula says sigma fx squared, and I told you that sigma means the summation. So it means we have to add all of it to get our sigma fx squared. So sigma fx squared. So it means you have to add all these values. So we have 605 plus 1352. 605 plus 1352 plus 1575 plus 1156 plus 2166. So when you add all of them, you should get 6854. So you can also do it on the calculator. So be sure you are getting the same thing, 6854. So our sigma fx squared, which is what is here, is 6854. So now you realize that we've got all the things we need in the formula. So now what do? We just substitute. So now let's do a simple substitution. So our standard deviation. So don't be confused. This sign is just for standard deviation. You get it. So you can also make a standard deviation is equal to, but then they'll even give you the symbol in the formula sheet. You get it. So you know the symbol to use. So now our standard deviation is equal to, so we have the numerator to be sigma fx squared. That's the same thing here, sigma fx squared. So we got 6854. So you don't need to square anything again because we already did it here. Then over sigma f, we got sigma f here to be 30. Then minus into bracket sigma fx. Sigma fx, we got it to be 446 over sigma f. Sigma f, we got it to be 30. So sigma fx was 446, which is here. Sigma f is 30, which is here. Then don't forget the square. Here, there is no square here. We didn't do any square here, so don't forget the square. You get it? So the difference is that this one, you are now going to do the square here, but then this one, you already did it. So please don't forget. So now you can punch everything on the calculator. You can also decide to do it step by step. You can do this part once, and you can also do this part. You can also square this part, then you do it together. but then we can just do it straight away. So you have 6854 over 30 minus into bracket 446 over 30, then square. So when you point all this thing on the calculator, you're getting 7.44889. So something like this. It's long, but then you can just write 7.44889. So you should also get the same thing. Now take a look at something. When you do this, then you take the square root of this. So we have, so our standard deviation now becomes the square root of 7.44889. So now the square root of 7.44889, we are getting our final standard deviation to be 2.729. Now there are two ways to do this. You can either decide to put the roots here as well. Then means here will also be the root of here. Do you get it? Then here too will be the root. But if you don't like it like that, when you do it like this, it's confusing for some people, especially when you're punching it on a calculator. So you can just get your answer, then whatever you get, you take the root of it. Now pay attention. When you square the standard deviation, you get what we call the variance. You get it? So maybe this year, since last year they didn't ask them, this year they might ask you to find the variance. So assuming you're asked to find the variance, just find for the standard deviation. Whatever you get, you square it. You get it. So if you're finding for the variance, the square root will not be there. You get it. Whatever you get for the standard deviation, just square it. So I repeat, if you don't like it like this, you can just start your formula like this. Then whatever you get, you take the square root. It will be the same. But if you don't like it that way, you can do it like how I did mine. Whatever you get, the 7.44889, then you take the square root of it. You do get it. So your final answer will give you 2.729. All right, so we are done. Now, the next one says you should find for the median. All right, so let me clean this one since you are done. All right, so the II says you should find the median or estimate the median. Now, the formula for the median too has also been given to you. You get it? So you don't need to stress yourself at all. So the formula for the median in the question. So our median, and this is for a group data. It has already been given to you. So you have L1 plus, then you have a fraction, then n over 2 minus fm minus 1 over fm times c. You can make this fm small so that you'll be able to differentiate from this. So usually we make this one capital and this one small. You get it? All right. So this is the formula for the median. Sometimes they write it differently. Sometimes you see only L instead of L1, but then this is the formula they gave them last year. So in case they ask you to find the median, this is the formula you see. Now the L1 is, now before you even know what the L1 is, now anytime I ask to find for the median and they give you a group data, you have to find what you call the median class. The median class. Now, how do you find for the median class? You first divide the total of the frequency by 2, or your sigma f by 2. That is, so as sigma f, we got 30. When we added all this, 5 plus 8 plus 7 plus 4 plus 6, we got 30. Then you divide the 30 by 2, then you're going to get 15. Now that you know that the 30 over 2 is 15, then you go to the groupings, then you find where 15 will be. So you have 10 to 12, 15 is not here, 12 to 14, 15 is not here, 14 to 16, you can find 15 there. Even for the midpoint, you got 15. So this 14 to 16 is our median class. I repeat, anytime they ask you to find the median for a group data, you first find for the median class. You get it? You first find for the median class. Now, how do you find for the median class? You find the total frequency, which is our sigma f, and that one you already got it as 30. Then you divide it by 2, so 30 over 2. So if you get 100, it will be 100 over 2. If you get 200, 200 over 2. So our total frequency, which is our sigma f, you got 30, then 30 over 2, we are getting 15. You get it? So now that you've got 15, you go to the table, then the groupings, then find where 15 will be. So from 10 to 12, there's no 15. 12 to 14, there's no 15. 14 to 16, that's where 15 will be. Do you get it? So this 14 to 16 becomes our median class. This one, this 14 to 16, this is our median class. Now that you found for a median class, then you can now solve for the median. Now the L1 is the lower boundary of the median class. I repeat, the L1 is the lower boundary of the median class. Now this is the median class. When you say lower boundary, it means the first one. So you have 14 to 16. So 14 is the lower boundary, then 16 is the upper boundary. You get it? So 14 is the lower boundary, then 16 is the upper boundary. So for this one like this, 10 is the lower boundary, 12 is the upper boundary. For this one like this, the second one, 12 to 14. 12 is the lower boundary, 14 is the upper boundary. So the lower boundary of the median class, which is, we've already established that this is our median class. So the lower boundary is 14. You get it? The first number, the grouping, is 14. So our L1 is the lower boundary for the median class. So you can write it down. Maybe L1 is equal to this, then this is equal to this. So I don't forget. So our L1, the lower boundary for the median class, which is 14. So you are getting a median should be equal to 14 plus, then you have n over 2. N is the total frequency. So n is the same as sigma f. You get it when you add the frequency. So our n is 30, which is the number of people. Then we already established that this is the frequency. So the number of meals there, 5 plus 8 plus 10 plus 4 plus 6, that's at 30. So n over 2, which is 30 over 2. Then minus fm minus 1. Now take a look at this. The fm minus 1 is the cumulative frequency before the median class. I repeat, the fm minus 1 is the cumulative frequency before the median class. So usually they use capital F here and capital and small f here. So when you see capital F, just know that they are talking about cumulative frequency. When you see small f, they are talking about the actual frequency. You get it? So this particular one is the cumulative frequency, capital Fm, then minus 1. So before the median class. So we now have to find for cumulative frequency. So let's do it here. Now, what is cumulative frequency? Cumulative frequency is when you're adding the frequency one by one. So our first frequency is 5. This is for frequency, so 5. So our first cumulative, let me make it CF. So CF. So our first frequency is 5. So that is our first cumulative frequency. So always the first frequency and the first cumulative frequency are the same. Do you get it? So our first frequency is 5. Then our cumulative frequency too will be 5, which is the same thing. Now the next cumulative frequency is 5 plus the next frequency. So 5 plus 8, then we are getting 13. Do you get it? Then the next cumulative frequency is 13 plus this, which is, so 13 plus 7, then we are getting 20. So you keep on adding the cumulative frequency to the next frequency. Do you get it? So now 20 plus the next frequency, which is 24. Then finally our last cumulative frequency, 24 plus 6, which is 30. So take note of this. If you want to find the cumulative frequency, the first cumulative frequency is the first frequency, so 5. You repeat it here. Then add it to the next one. So 5 plus 8, then you got 13. You get it? Then 13 plus 7, then you got 20. Then 20 plus 4, you got 24. Then 24 plus 6, you got 30. Yes, I hope no one is confused. All right. So now, like I said, the Fm minus 1, which is the capital Fm minus 1, tells you the cumulative frequency before the median class. When you see minus 1, just know that it's before. Minus means you are going back. So capital Fm minus 1, the cumulative frequency before the median class. Now we established that 14 to 16 is the median class, the cumulative frequency before the median class. So this is the group before the median class. So you go here, the one before the median class, then you look for the cumulative frequency. What is the number there? 13. So that becomes 13. You get it? Over Fm. This is small f. This one was capital. So when you see the small f, it's telling they are talking about the actual frequency. This is the actual frequency. This is cumulative frequency. The capital F is talking about cumulative frequency. There's small f talking about the actual frequency. And this one, you don't see -1. Do you get it? So if there's no -1, it means the frequency of the median class. The frequency of the median class. So this is the median class, the 14 to 60. You already established that. Then the frequency of the median class, which is our f, is 7. So over 7. Then times C. Now C is the class width. How do you find for the class width? The class width is the upper boundary minus the lower boundary. I tell you that this is the upper boundary, this is the lower boundary. So for this one, this is the upper boundary, this is the lower boundary. And for all of them, they are going to be the same. So you have 12 minus 10. What are you getting? 2. 14 minus 12. What are you getting? 2. 16 minus 14. What are you getting? 2. So you can just do for one of them. It should be the same. So for this one, what is our width or our C? It's just 16 minus 14 or 14 minus 12 or 12 minus 10, and we are getting 2. So times 2. Then we punch all this on the calculator. So let's do it together and see what you are getting. In this part, you might easily make a mistake. So for the 30/2, you can make it 15 before you punch on the calculator so that you don't make a mistake. So let's simplify it so that we don't make a mistake. So you are getting 14 plus, so this 30/20 is 15. So 15 minus 13 over 7, then times 2. So now we can do this on the calculator. That to be easier. So 14 plus a fraction. In the numerator, we have 15 minus 13 over 7 times 2. And we are getting 14.57. So 14.57. So this becomes our median. You get it? So median is like the middlemost number, or the number that is in the middle. You get it? All right. So this is how we solve for the median. So please don't forget, just remember that this formula there will be given to you. So you just have to know that the L1 is the lower boundary for the median class. We established that this is the median class. And I told you that if you want to find the median class, you take the sigma f, or the total frequency, over 2. Then where it falls, 15 falls here. You get it? Then where it falls, that's the median class. So L1 is the lower boundary of the median class, which is 14. Then N is the total, which is the total of the frequency, which is 30. So 30/2. Then minus Fn minus 1. This one is capital. I tell you that the capital is the cumulative frequency. Minus 1 is saying that the one before the median class. So this is the median class, the one before, which is the cumulative frequency, then 13. Then over Fm, this one is small f, so it's the actual frequency. And there's no -1, so the actual frequency of the median class, which is 7. Then the C is the class width. And how do we get for it? The upper boundary minus the lower boundary. So 16 minus 14, or 40 minus 12, or even 20 minus 18, you are getting 2. Then substitute the values, then we are getting 14.57. All right. Now let's move on to the next one. So for the next one, they said we should find for the coefficient of skewness and comment on our results. All right, so let me clean this one so that we find for the coefficient of skewness. All right, so now we are finding for the coefficient of skewness, and this was the only formula they didn't give to you in the formula sheet. I don't know why they didn't give this particular one. Get it? So maybe this year too, they might not give it to you, since they didn't give it to them last year. So you might want to choose only this particular one. So the formula for the coefficient of skewness, so let me write it here. So coefficient of skewness is equal to 3 into brackets mean minus median over standard deviation. All right, so this is the formula for coefficient of skewness. 3 into brackets mean minus median over standard deviation. All right, so now that we know that this is the formula, we can just substitute the value. So we just solved for the median. This is what we just did right now. You got 14.57, right? But then they didn't give us the value for the mean, or you've not yet solved for it. So you can just put in your head, the formula for the mean is sigma fx over sigma f. I'm sure you guys already know this. If you don't know this, please keep this formula in your head. You might use it. So the formula for the mean is sigma fx over sigma f. Now, what is sigma fx? Sigma fx is 446. You already have it in the table. Then over sigma f, which is 30. So 446 over 30. So you are getting 14.87. So 14.87. So that becomes our mean. You get it? So this is mean. So our mean. So our mean is 14.87. So now we can substitute it to the formula. So our coefficient of skewness is 3 into brackets our mean, which we just solved for to be 14.87. Then minus the median. The median is what you just solved for in the II. So that you already solved for it, so you don't need to do it again. Assuming they ask you for the coefficient of skewness, but then they don't ask you for the median, you have to solve for the median again. But since they already asked you for it and you've solved it, it will be easier. So what did we get? We got 14.57, right? Then over standard deviation. The standard deviation to we solved for it, that was our I. So now we got 2.729, right? Something like this, 2.7 something. So yes. So in case they ask you for the coefficient of skewness and they don't ask you for the standard deviation and all that, you have to solve for it before you can find for it. But this one, they told us find for the standard deviation. So we already got the value. They said we should find for the median. We already got the value. Get it? So we just substitute them. The only thing they didn't tell us find for is the mean. So that's the only thing we solved for. So which is our 14.87. So now you can punch all this on the calculator. So you are getting 3 into brackets 14.87 minus 14.57 minus 14.57 then over 2.729. So you are getting 0.33. So 0.329, you can make it 0.33. All right. And the question also said we should comment on it, right? Did the question say we should comment on it? Yes, the question said calculate the coefficient of skewness and comment on your results. All right, so this is the coefficient of skewness. And it says comment on it. Now, pay attention. Now, if they say you should comment on the skewness, whatever you get, if you get a positive value, this one like this, we got 0.33. So it means it is positively skewed. So if you are commenting on it, you'll be like, therefore, since it's positive, it is positively skewed. If you got a negative value, let's say negative 0.3, then you say it is negatively skewed. Do you get it? Now, if you want to show the examiner that you know, if you get anything above positive 1.0, you can say it's strongly positively skewed. That's if it's above 1.0. But if it's below 1.0, but it's still positive, this one like this is below 1.0, but it's still positive, you can say it's slightly positively skewed. You get it? It's still positive, but then it's not above 1.0. So you say it's slightly positively skewed. But you can just say it is positively skewed. You still be marked correctly. All right, so we are done with the II, which is the coefficient of skewness. Now, there are some other things that they might ask you to find for this year. So I want to explain. So like the mode like this, they didn't tell you to find for it, but they can tell you to find for it. They can tell you to find for the mean deviation and some other things. So in case they tell you to find for it, I'm just going to show you how to find for it. So that in case this year they bring it, because they might change a few things this year. So yeah. All right, so another thing they can tell you to find for is the mode. Do you get it? So this year they might actually ask you to find for the mode. Since last year they didn't find for the mode, and they also give the formula here. So the formula for the mode which they give to you is, so you have the mode to be equal to L1 plus, and you have a fraction change in 1 over change in 1 plus change in 2, then times C. So this has been put in brackets. All right, but then the only thing is that this particular formula, they didn't really break it down for you, because if you see change in 1, you don't know what it means. You get it? This triangle, when you see triangle, it means change. But then anytime you talk about change, it means you're subtracting something. And the new minus the old. You get, usually in economics, when we say change, it's usually new minus the old. But then if you want to break this formula down, if you want to break the formula for the mode down, the actual formula is so our L1 plus the change in 1. So the change in 1 that they are talking about is Fm minus F1. You get it? So that's the change in 1. The change in 1 is Fm minus F1. Here too is change in 1. So into bracket Fm minus F1. Then plus change in 2. This is Fm minus F2. Then times the C. So this is the actual formula for the mode. When you break this down, this change, they didn't specify which one you're subtracting, you get it. So this formula is actually in the slide, but then you can just write it down so that you don't forget. So the formula for the mode for a group data, if it was an ungroup data or something, you just look for the most occurring number. But because they know it's that easy, they don't usually bring it, you get it. So usually you have to use this formula. So try and choose this particular one because they won't give it to you like this. So the formula is L1 plus, you have the fraction, then the numerator, you have Fm minus F1. Now this is small f, and I told you that small f usually talks about the actual frequency. The capital F usually talks about the cumulative frequency, but this one is small f, so the actual frequency. So Fm minus F1 over into bracket Fm minus F1, then close bracket plus into bracket Fm minus F2. Now what does this formula mean? Now for the mode 2, if you are about software, the first thing you have to know is that you have to find for the modal class. The modal class. So please don't forget the median, you have to look for the median class. This one you are going to find for the modal class. So how do you find for the modal class? The modal class is the class with the highest frequency. These are the classes. So the class with the highest frequencies. These are frequencies, the male, that's our F. So 5, 8, 7, 4, and 6. Which one has the highest? Just look at it and tell me. So that's 8 because 8 is the biggest number here. So our modal class is this one, 12 to 14. You get it? So I repeat, the modal class is the class with the highest frequency. You get it? And this is the highest frequency. So 12 to 14 automatically becomes our modal class. So now that we know that 12 to 14 is our modal class, so let me just dip in it so that you see. So now that we know that 12 to 14 is our modal class, L1 is the lower boundary of the modal class. When we're talking about the median class, L1 was our lower boundary for the median class. Now this one, L1 is the lower boundary for the modal class. You get the lower boundary for the modal class. So you already established that 12 to 14 is a modal class. Why? Because it has the highest frequency of 8. So our mode is equal to L1, which is the lower boundary of the modal class, which is 12. So 12 to 14, take the first one, which is 12. That's our L1. Then plus Fm minus F1. Now Fm is the frequency of the modal class. In other words, the highest frequency. Do you get it? And what's the frequency of the modal class? 8, or the highest frequency, which is 8. So Fm, which is 8, minus F1. Now F1 is the frequency before the modal class. If you are not going to deal with cumulative frequency, all of them is small f. You get it? So mode, you don't deal with cumulative frequency. So F1 is the frequency before the modal class. You get it? So this is our modal class, 12 to 14. Then the frequency before the modal class, which is 5. So 8 minus 5. So F1 is 5, or the frequency before the modal class, then over Fm minus F1, which is what you just did here. So 8 minus 5. So whatever I say, just repeat here, is the same thing. Then plus Fm, which we said it was 8, the frequency with the highest, or the frequency of the modal class, which is 8, then minus F2. Now F2 is the frequency after the modal class. The frequency after the modal class. We've established that 12 to 14 is our modal class. The frequency after 8, that is 7. So 8 minus 7. Alright, then times C. And what is our C? Our class width, which is 12 minus 10, or 14 minus 12. Just the upper boundary minus the lower boundary. And we already said that one was 2. All right, so now you can punch all this on the calculator. So 12 plus, let me just do it step by step here. So you have our mode to be equal to 12 plus 8 minus 5 is 3. Then over 8 minus 5, which is 3. So 3 plus 8 minus 7, which is 1. Then times 2. So you can punch all this on the calculator. 12 plus 3 over. So let me do it and see if we get the answer. So 12 plus a fraction in the numerator 3 over 3 plus 1 then times 2. We are getting 13.5. So our mode is 13.5. So this one I just broke it down. You can punch all this on the calculator as well. But yeah, if you break it down step by step, you are getting 13.5. All right, so our mode is 13.5. You get it. So anytime they ask you to find the mode, this is the formula you're going to see. You're not going to see this formula, so you have to chew this one so that you don't forget. All right, now another thing they can also ask you to find is variance. Now for the variance, if you want to find for the variance, let me finish cleaning it. All right, if you want to find for the variance, just put in your mind that the variance is the square of the standard deviation. Do you get it? So if you ask to find for the variance, just find for the standard deviation, then you square it. So for the standard deviation, I think we got 2.7 something. Is it 2.79 or so? But then assuming we got 2.79, we'll just square it. So 2.79 squared, we are getting 7.7841. So this becomes our variance. So I repeat, the variance is the standard deviation squared. Do you get it? Assuming they don't even give you the standard deviation, just find for the standard deviation, then you can square it. You get, or the formula we use for the standard deviation, you can just remove the roots, you get the same thing. All right, then what else can they ask you to find? Okay, they can also ask you to find for the range. Now, the range is the upper limit minus the lower limit, or the highest upper limit minus the lowest lower limit. You get it? So these are the upper limits: 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. The ones at the right: 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So the highest one is 20. So now you're finding for range. So the highest one is 20. Then the lowest here, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. The lowest is 10. So minus 10. So our range will be 10. Yes. So range is the value of the highest minus the lowest. So the highest of the upper values and the lowest of the lower values. Then you get 10. All right. Then the last thing they can ask you to find is the mean deviation. And the mean deviation, a lot of students have challenges with it. So I'll try and break it down. So mean deviation. All right. So now the formula for the mean deviation is sigma f, then you have x minus x bar over sigma f. All right, so this is the formula for the mean deviation: sigma f, then x minus x bar over sigma f. Now realize that I put some strokes here. So sigma f, then you have the absolute. This thing is called the absolute. Do you get it? So please note this. So you have sigma f times x minus x bar, but the x minus x bar is surrounded by some strokes. You get it? So this is not the formula. Sigma f times x minus x bar over sigma f. This is not the formula. The formula, you put the absolute value here. Now, anytime you see absolute in mathematics, it means that you are taking only the positive. So assuming you solve for this and get negative 2, your answer will be 2. If you get negative 44, your answer will be 44. So anytime you see something like this, it means you take only the positive. Alright, so with that being said, we can solve for it. So we have x minus x bar. Now x bar is the same as the mean. If you see anything like this, it's the same as mean. Do you get it? So don't forget. So sometimes they can give you the formula for the mean like this. It means when you see this symbol, it's the same as the mean. So x, and there's a stroke on it. Do you get it? So now this x bar is the mean. And remember we solved for the mean. I hope you've not forgotten. All right. So now if you want to solve for this, the first thing you write are the values of x, since we have x here, so there's no space there, that's why I'm doing it here. So the values of x, that's our midpoint. So we have 11, 13, 15, 17, and 19. So those are the values here for the midpoint: 11, 13, 15, 17, and 19. That's what I've repeated here. Then we also have f here. So the values of f: 5, 8, 7, 4, and 6. So 5, 8, 7, 4, and 6. Alright, so we are done with the f. Then the next thing we find is the x minus the x bar. And I told you that the x bar is the mean. So this x with a line on top is the same as the mean. And we already solved for the mean earlier. When we solve for the mean, what do we get? 14.87, right? So x minus 14.87. I hope no one is confused. The formula is x minus x bar, which is the mean. And the mean, we already got 14.87. Get it? So please don't forget, you said the mean is sigma fx over sigma f. That was 446 over 30. So you can do it on the calculator to confirm. So when you do it, you should get 14.87. You get it? So here, just know that is the mean. You get it? So x minus x bar, x minus the mean. You get it? So you draw a table, then you find for all the x minus the mean. So this is our x. So our x is 11. So you have 11. Then here our x is 13. Then here our x is 15. Here our x is 17. Then here our x is 19. So minus the mean, which is 14.87. So 14.87, 14.87, 14.87, 14.87, 14.87. Now remember this one, I told you that you are taking the absolute value of it. So whatever you get, you take the positive of it. Don't forget. So even if this one you get a negative, you take a positive. So you can just put the absolute here so that you don't forget. So they are taking the positive. So let's start the first one. 11 minus 14.87. So you're getting negative 3.87. But remember, whatever you get, we take the positive. So it becomes 3.87. So 3.87. This one, so we have 13 minus 14.87. You're getting 1.87. It's negative 1.87, but you're taking only the positive values. This one, you have 15 minus 14.87. So you have 0.13. This one, you have 17 minus 14.87. 17 minus 14.87. Then you have 2.13. Then this one, you have 19 minus 14.87. 19 minus 14.87. And you have 4.13. Alright, so you've got the values for this, which are x minus the 14.87, which is our mean. That's this part. But the formula says sigma f times this. You get it? So whatever we get here, you have to multiply it by the f. You get it? So you have to multiply all these values by our f. So then we take the total. So now, let me do it somewhere here. So let me clean this one. So that's over sigma f. So now we have the one at the top, which is f, then times x minus x bar, or x minus 14.87. 14.87 is the same as the x bar. You get it? So now it will be this times this. You get it? This times this. So 3.87 times 5. And that will give you 19.35. Then 1.87 times 8. 1.87 times 8. I'm getting 14.96. Then 0.13 times 7. 0.13 times 7. You are getting 0.91. Then 2.13 times 4. 2.13 times 4. I'm getting 8.52. Then lastly, 4.13 times 6. I'm getting 24.78. So now the formula says sigma f times the x minus x bar. So it means you have to find the total of this. You get it? So as sigma f and x minus x bar will be equal to, so the summation of all this, you get it? So we have 19.35 plus 14.96 plus 0.91 plus 8.52 plus 24.78. So when we add all of this, you should get 68.52. So 68.52. So that's for the top, sigma f times x minus x bar. That's the one at the top. But this is sigma f times x minus x bar over sigma f. So sigma f times x minus x bar, which is the one at the top, is 68.52. So 68.52 over our sigma f. Our sigma f is 30. So let's do it on the calculator and see what you are getting. So 68.52 over 30. So we are getting 2.284. So 2.284. So this becomes our mean deviation. You get it? So ladies and gentlemen, these are the things that they usually ask you to calculate for. So if you don't understand it, please try and go over the video and try and get more questions to solve as well. Thank you very much for watching this video. Once again, my name is Isaac Osafo Jr. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And I'll see you in the next video.